Welcome to Alberta Prepper. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. It's a nice, cool, chilly day here in Alberta, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for those who have subscribed and liked my previous videos, and I hope that you like my video today and that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I would like to thank you all for all the help that you have given me. Anyway, to the main part of this video. Today we're going to talk about luxury items. Now, why would we be talking about luxury items? Basically, why you talk about luxury items is because that is the first thing that gets hit in an economic downturn, and why and how you prepare yourself for those situations. A company called Bain and Company announced that they had just lost 20 to 22% of their sales in luxury items. Now, that's a huge amount, and it is in China, but whatever happens in one country will especially when it's a large economic country, will start happening in all the other countries that go around. Soon it'll come to North America, and so on and so forth. But that being said, if you come to Canada, you'll notice that condos are actually starting to collapse. The market is collapsing in condos in the large cities, and it'll start moving on to the smaller cities and towns and so on and so forth. Why is this? Because now they have a glut of condos, and the cost for condos is astronomical. So people can't afford them. People don't want them anymore. People want out. The amount of money that companies who own these condos are going to have to put in to fix up these aging condos is going to be enormous, and no one's going to be able to afford that. So a lot of these companies are going to start going under, and these condos will start getting older and looking rougher and rougher and rougher. Even the brand new condos that were built 5, 10 years ago are going to look absolutely insane. Why? Because people do not have the money to take care of those kind of things. And in a way, a condo in a major city in a downtown core is a luxury item, because you could have, for the amount of money that a lot of people spent on those condos over the same amount of years that they were trying to buy some into the housing market, they could have saved a little extra money, waited a little longer, and bought a house and had less issues in the future. Because people never think of these things when it comes to condos or townhouses or any kind of units like that. It's not just the mortgage of the condo that you have to pay, you also have to pay condo fees. And yes, I've seen condo fees that were as low as $100 a month. And everyone's like, oh, it's a great deal. It's $100 a month. Yeah, but that's a brand new condo building. That $100 a month, if anything goes wrong with that building, is not going to cover squat. So what usually happens is it slowly raises as time goes on. And I've seen condo fees as high as 4 or 5 grand a month. Can you think of having a condo that you're already paying, say, $2,000, $3,000 a month on your mortgage? Now you're paying another 4 grand a month for a condo fee? Like, you might as well have just saved that extra money, waited a couple of years, and bought yourself a house. Now people are going to say, well, the price of housing goes through the roof all the time. It's like, no, it goes up, yes, but it also goes down. And especially here in Alberta, there are many, many times where the prices of housing went up, 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 and started going parabolic. And then overnight, people were handing in their keys and walking away. Banks were sitting there with thousands of housing units, going, what are we going to do with these? We can't sell them. We can't give them away because no one had the money to pay for that. Eventually, the house prices just collapsed in all the major cities in Alberta, and people started to buy again, forgetting that the prices just a few months before that were anywhere from 40% to 120% more than what they were when you bought it. So I look at things like this. I go, is it financially feasible? And that's what prepping is about. Is something financially feasible? If it is not financially feasible, you should not be doing it. It doesn't matter if it's buying a car, buying a house, or buying food. If it's not financially feasible, you shouldn't be buying it. Now, you're saying, but food. Well, yeah. Food is anything from going to the grocery store or a farmer's market, picking up food, bringing it home, cooking it, and making it for yourself, to going to a luxury restaurant and having a $400 meal. Now, if it's not feasible to go and have that $400 meal, then you shouldn't be having it. If it's feasible for you to have, say, a $40 meal, okay, go for it. Or is it better that you only have a $20 meal that you made at home? The thing is that prepping isn't just about what may happen in the future. It's also about what's happening now, using what has happened in the past and what will happen in the future as your guide to how you want to prep. Do you find that you run out of food at the end of the month because you don't have the money to pay for it? Well, when you have the money, allocate that money to the food, buy that food beforehand, and then you use the rest of the money. And then when the end of the month comes, you still have extra food that you can take out of your stores and use for yourself and your family. It's about buying things correctly, not incorrectly. And in these days where we have things like Amazon or Walmart home delivery or even Walmart online, a lot of times you'll see things that you'll really, really want. And I always do it as a good way of thumb. I look at it and I go, wow, I really want that. And then I put it into the basket and I leave it there. I leave it there for 2 weeks before I look at it again. And in 2 weeks, I'll look at it again. I'll go, is this something I really want now? Is this something I really need? Is this something that I could live without? And if I can live without it and I don't really need it, it goes into the trash. There was a time where I would buy on impulse. I had the money, so let's buy it. Then all of a sudden, when something really important happened, I didn't always have that money. And then it was like, oh, how do I fix this? Well, you don't. You end up with credit cards. You end up with small microloans, stuff like that. It's not, sometimes it's the only way to go if you don't plan properly, but you'd rather you plan now for things in the future by looking at what happened in the past. So those are good rules of thumb. Is put stuff into the basket. Let it sit there. Figure out, is it important? Now, when it comes to food, make sure that you buy canned food. You know, canned meats, canned veggies, canned fruit, stuff like that, that will last long periods of time. So that if you do put it on the shelf and you forget it for a month or two, it's not a waste. You still can eat it. Now, you'll also want to get fresh vegetables, but that will be as when you have that time and effort to be able to make that kind of stuff. Sometimes we don't. But you always have to think ahead. What do I need? What does my family like? How often do we go through it? Then you buy all that right away. Then you're not in some stupid lineup because you know, panic has ensued and everyone wants to buy 80 boxes of toilet paper and everything else in this world that isn't necessary, that you could have bought months or years in advance and had a small stockpile of that kind of material. Like, toilet paper doesn't go bad. Just an FYI. I mean, what it's used for, it really doesn't matter if it went bad anyways, because it's toilet paper. So buy that kind of stuff early. Buy a few. I mean, like I said before in other videos, if you need something, don't buy one, buy two. And if you can buy three, better. As in the prepper community says, one is none, two is one, three is more. So think of it that way. If you only have one of something, you really don't have anything, because that once you use that one, you don't have it. But if you have two and you use one, you still have another one there. And then you can buy two more to cover the one that you had just used. Now you have three. Then when you use that one, you buy two more and you have five. And so on and so forth. Think of it as preparing for something that will happen, because history has shown you that it can happen. And those luxury items, the reason why they're going down is because people can't afford to spend on superfluous things. They can't afford to buy that $100,000 car. Now they got to find the $5,000 wreck that will get them from point A to point B long enough so that they can keep their job. These are the reasons why you prepare. So go out there, make some preparations, figure it out. If you have some questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I'd love to answer questions. Anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Alberta Prepper out.